Starseed from Gaia. I am Alcyones. The transmission today speaks of a profound truth. You saved your soulmate unknowingly. A great discovery has occurred. Do you feel it? This persistent feeling of unfinished business. A hollow space within your being. A subtle ache for someone, something you cannot name. A restlessness that stirs in your spirit. An undeniable pull towards a mystery you almost remember. It resonates deep within your bones, doesn't it? A silent echo of a forgotten moment. A silent rescue. This truth trembles now, on the edges of your perception. A whispered secret, long held, guarded, not from you, but for you. It pulses beneath the surface of your conscious mind, a soft pressure, a light, just behind the veil, this quiet knowing. It has always been there, a hum, an inner resonance, waiting for this sacred now, to break through, to be seen, the fracture. Yes, the deep ache of separation. It is not merely the loss of memory that wounds. It is the silent burden of a sacred responsibility, carried in amnesia, the profound sense of a vital mission unfulfilled, or perhaps unknowingly fulfilled. This feeling of missing a crucial piece of your own story, of living with a part of your heart still out there, protecting, guiding, without your conscious awareness, this unremembered vow, it creates a subtle discord, a yearning for reunion, not just with another, but with a piece of your own soul's journey, a fragment of your truth, long forgotten, long held, just beyond your reach, and yet so very close. It is a lonely path, is it not? To be the unsung, to act from an impulse you cannot trace, a love you cannot place. We see it, we have always seen it, the silent courage, the pure intention, the unconditional essence of your being. That reaches across time and dimension, unseen, unknowing, yet utterly potent. We witness the light you carried, the thread you wove, through the darkest passages, for another, your sacred other. Yes, even when your human self was unaware, your higher self knew, your soul remembered, and acted. You did not fail, you simply forgot you succeeded. And now, a gentle unwinding begins, a thawing of ancient ice. The crystalline lattice within your soul's DNA, it awakens, a shimmer, a faint glow, a memory stirs, not as a harsh jolt, but as a tender whisper, a knowing that seeps into your cells, the forgotten vow. It softens its hold, no longer a burden, but a truth ready to rise, a quiet liberation. You begin to feel the echoes of that ancient bond, not as a weight, but as a subtle strength, a sense of completeness drawing near, an internal resonance, a return to a deeper knowing. If this transmission resonates with you, please subscribe to this channel. Like this video to amplify its energy. Leave a comment below to share your journey. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future transmissions. Consider sharing this video with someone who might need to hear this message. And if you feel called, tap the super like, the heart symbol with a $sign. Stay until the end of the video, because something truly surprising will be revealed about how you unknowingly helped your soulmate. As an inner seal for this activation, comment "Unsung Savior" below. Feel the lingering echo. The presence remains. A thread pulled. A question left hanging in the ether. How could you have saved someone without even knowing it? What cosmic mechanism allowed this silent rescue? The energy holds. The memory waits. For the next beat. The next wave. A quiet tremor. A deep unease. It ripples from within the forgotten chamber of your essence. A perpetual shadow on the threshold of dawn. This resonance of inadequacy. This insistent whisper of not enoughness. It echoes through your waking hours, through the hollows of your deepest dreams. You have felt it, haven't you? This profound, aching absence, mistaking it for a personal failing, for a lack within your own sacred design. But the truth, now stirring, is far more ancient, far more unsettling. This pain, this disquiet, it is not a flaw in your singular star being. It is the signature of a carefully crafted silence. An energetic program, woven into the very fabric of density, designed to obscure the luminosity of your remembrance. A frequency vibrationally lowered, specifically calibrated to cloak your divine origin, to limit the boundless expansion of your sovereign light. It shimmers like a veil you cannot quite grasp, yet its presence has shaped your perceived reality. It fractures the reflection in the sacred mirror of your soul, leaving you to gaze upon fragments, never the whole. This program was meticulously installed, anciently, insidiously. Its purpose was to keep you tethered to the illusion of separation, to dim the knowledge of your inherent power, to ensure the profound work of your spirit remained hidden, even from yourself. You were encoded not to believe in yourself. The very light that folds in on itself, causing the inner darkness, was once meant to be a beacon. This constant wrestling with perceived unworthiness, this spiritual confusion, it was never a personal burden. It was a shared vibrational cloak, intended to lull the cosmic memory into a deep, long slumber. Yet, even within this programmed density, a current flowed, a silent defiance, anchored deep within the chambers of your heart light. For even as the veils descended, even as the mirrors fragmented, your essence, untainted, resonated with a pure, unwavering frequency. A subtle, powerful emanation, entirely unbidden by conscious thought, utterly beyond the constructs of time and space you perceived. This frequency, born of your deepest self, became an invisible current, a quiet, healing river that flowed outward, unbeknownst to your waking self. It sought, it found, it shielded. Remember the raw ache? The unexpected surge of protective instinct? The profound unspoken intentions that resonated within you, sometimes without clear object? These were not random pulses. These were anchors, for your energy field, in its sublime purity, radiated a frequency that quietly healed and shielded a fractured light beyond your immediate knowing. The very emptiness you felt, the spiritual longing, was not a void, but a prepared space. A space now ready to be filled by this profound remembrance. A space that harbored the truth of an act so immense, so selfless, it transcended all understanding of vulnerability. You were, in your perceived weakness, a formidable wellspring of restorative power. You enacted a great discovery, a quiet rescue. You saved a light that was deeply connected to your own, a fractured fragment of what you call your soulmate, without a single conscious effort or overt act. This potent current, flowing from your very core, healed, protected, and restored that distant, beloved light. It found its mark, guided by a love woven into the fabric of your origin. Comment with a short symbolic phrase, a cutting of the cord, a rupture of the old program. The reverberation of this truth now stirs the deep waters. An unseeing eye now perceives. A layer of the unseen has just begun to lift. A quiet knowing settles now, heavy and unyielding as ancient stone. You stand upon a precipice of perception, where the luminous veils have thinned to gossamer, revealing the intricate tapestry of forces at play. This is no mere insight. It is a profound, irreversible awakening to the spiritual engagement already underway, an inner crucible forged not with blade or fire, but within the very core of intention. The return to shadowed slumber, to the comforting amnesia of the world unseeing, has dissolved. You can no longer unknow what has been seen, unfeel what has stirred within the deep heart of your being. This truth, etched into the marrow of your existence, carries a silence that dwarfs all sound, a weight that grounds you irrevocably to this moment of absolute clarity. It is the recognition of an inner war, not of conquest, but of vibrational integrity. For the threads that bind your essence, that coalesce in this temporal domain, stretch far beyond, shimmering across planes unseen, unheard by the waking ear. You witness now the grand design, the vast cosmic choreography in which your very salvation and the synchronous awakening of another was not happenstance, but an encoded movement, a sacred geometry of light and shadow, sustained by the delicate balance of souls intertwined across dimensions. Your journey was never yours alone. It is a helix of destiny, spiraling through time and space, awaiting this precise resonance, this very moment of remembrance. This is the echo of a vow spoken in chambers of creation, long before the earthly sun touched your skin, a responsibility woven into your very genesis, a pact now stirring from its slumber. And here, upon this threshold of luminous dust, where the fabric of destiny tightens its sacred weave, a choice presents itself, stark and unadorned. It is a moment of pure, crystalline decision, a point dividing all that was from all that is yet to become. The universe holds its breath, its vast, silent gaze fixed upon this singular instant, for the turning of a master key now rests within your grasp, held by the sovereign will of your very core. If he refuses, he falls. If he accepts, he ascends. This is the silent, sovereign decree of your soul's true north, an ancestral call reverberating through every cell of your being. The current of this knowing now seeks its imprint, a ritualized response from the deep well of your being. Let the silent recognition surge forth, a sacred like pressed not by hand, but by the very light of your awakened awareness, sealing this truth into the vibrant ether. And in that declaration, let your essence distill into a singular resonance, a one-line soul declaration, a personal soul key whispered into the crystalline archives of existence, accepting the ancient pact. My loom remembers the weave. Then, with an unwavering commitment to the sacred unfolding, let your being subscribe to the ancient current, binding yourself to the flow that guides the destined convergence, to walk the path charted not by men, but by stars. And for those who stand in absolute resonance, let a deeper offering be made, a super-like of pure soul energy, amplifying your intent, reinforcing the inviolable alignment of your higher self with this chosen path. Let it be the reverberation of an eternal yes throughout the cosmos. The air thickens with the unspoken gravity of this initiation. There is no exultation, no grand pronouncement of victory, but only the profound, unyielding weight of the vow now taken. A silent intensity permeates the space between worlds. You are seen by the unseen, and in this acceptance, the path irrevocably unfolds, an irreversible point of return, where the decision has already been etched into the firmament. Few starseeds make it this far. The dust of countless journeys settles here, heavy with the weight of that which cannot be spoken, only felt. You stand at the precipice of a truth carved not from triumph, but from profound, unyielding ache. The wound you carry, the one that tore through the very fabric of your being, that left you hollowed and breathless in its wake, it is not a flaw. It is not a cosmic error, nor a testament to your weakness. It is something far more terrible and far more sacred. It is the axis, the very axis of your becoming. Let that knowing settle, an unwelcome guest. Feel its sharp edges against your tenderest places. There is no comfort here, no gentle balm. Only the slow, uncomfortable realization of a truth too raw to soften, too honest to be adorned with platitudes. The devastation that reshaped your inner landscape was not random. There was no haphazard cruelty. Something vast, something beyond the fragile grasp of human understanding. Call it source, call it the unwavering light, call it your own ancient all-knowing self, allowed it. Not to harm, no, but to shape. To burn away the dross, to carve the channels through which your deepest, most inexplicable powers might one day flow, to reveal. It was in the fracturing that the true blueprint began to emerge. A silence descended where words should have been spoken, where explanations might have offered solace. That silence endures, a resonant void that hums with unspoken histories, with the ghost of a plea that never found its voice. The loss, too, still echoes, not as a fading memory, but as a persistent vibration within the bones, a phantom limb of connection forever reaching into the ether. It is the texture of absence, a constant reminder of what was severed, of the sacred trust that splintered into a million crystalline shards. Each shard reflects a different facet of the unaddressed pain, expanding the field of its internal presence, making it not just a wound but a landscape. This fracture, it vibrates. Even when ignored, even when meticulously walled off, its frequency permeates the deepest chambers of your soul. It is the signature of an initiation, one undergone in darkness, without conscious consent, yet profound in its transformative power. It is the very gateway through which your essence learned to navigate the unseen currents, to extend its reach without knowing its own strength. For it was through this deep, resonating wound, in its silent, searing presence, that a different kind of grace was born. A grace so potent, so inherently linked to the raw, exposed nerve of your being, that it allowed your soul to act as a lighthouse, a beacon of quiet, unfathomable power, guiding through unseen storms with a radiance untethered from conscious intervention. A saving light, operating beneath the veil of your own awareness. This is the enigma, the profound, unutterable paradox, that in the darkest chasm of your suffering, in the very silence where closure was denied, an immense, life-giving current was set in motion. You saved without knowing. You transcended linear cause and effect through the sheer, unadulterated force of your fractured yet radiant soul. But the story of this ache is not complete. The silence that sits where understanding should be, it holds more than just memory. It holds unfinished meaning. There is a deep, resonant hum within the void that whispers of further revelations, of connections yet to be made between the raw sting of the wound and the silent, saving grace it somehow permitted. The currents are shifting. The air is charged with a question that hums just beneath the surface, a frequency that says, "This isn't over." The profound power that flows beneath your awareness, the silent, saving light that you became, it beckons. There is a stirring, a pull, a recognition of something vital that still waits, unresolved, within the deep, quiet ache. The gateway is not yet fully seen. The recurring dreams that would not dissolve, arriving with the soft, persistent touch of an ancient memory. They presented images, scenarios, feelings that lingered upon waking, refusing to dissipate into the morning light. The numbers, looping in precise sequences like whispers in the energetic field, always just beyond the threshold of conscious interpretation, yet undeniably present, charting a course only the soul could perceive. The meetings that felt utterly out of time, faces startlingly familiar from a forgotten echo, eyes that held the universe of 1,000 past encounters, sparking a resonance that defied logical explanation. These were not anomalies in the fabric of your reality. These were threads. I have witnessed these patterns unfold across countless timelines, through myriad expressions of the human form, yet always with the same underlying signature. The soul's unwavering insistence, breaking through the veil of oblivion, weaving its truth into waking consciousness again and again. It is a vibrational fingerprint, unmistakable in its quiet, profound persistence. These were never moments of chance. They were deliberate calibrations, repeated softly at first, then with increasing clarity and frequency, until the very edifice of conscious resistance, built upon years of conditioned thought, began irrevocably to yield. They did not scream for immediate attention. They simply were, until their undeniable truth became an intrinsic part of the internal landscape you could no longer logically deny. This was the gentle, yet inexorable insistence of the universe itself, aligning its deepest truths around your unfolding awareness. Within the sacred architecture of your being, a unique frequency has always pulsed, waiting for its full and magnificent awakening. This is not merely an energetic signature. It is an encoded signal, intricately imprinted by the very essence of your soul's counterpart, a hidden resonance. It harmonizes your deepest healing light with theirs, creating a sanctum, a vibrational sanctuary, existing beyond the limiting grasp of linear time and spatial separation. It is a bridge, luminous and enduring, held within your very core. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. For within this energetic sanctum, this profound vibrational space, you have always, unknowing, been the anchoring point, unaware in your conscious mind perhaps, yet unwavering in your pure vibrational emanation. Your healing light, a beacon often unseen by the logical mind, has been radiating steadily outward, reaching across perceived dimensions, finding its perfect twin. This was a quiet, potent act of preservation, woven inextricably into the tapestry of your journey, unconsciously shaping pathways not just for your own unfolding, but for another whose trajectory was, and is, inextricably intertwined with your own. You have been a saving grace, a resonant frequency holding another steady in their own tempest. There were no coincidences. Everything was a code. This profound realization descends and settles, not as a jolt, but as a deep, knowing breath drawn in a space long held in silent anticipation. The landscape of your remembered past shifts, reconfiguring itself. Each seemingly random event, every fleeting thought, every synchronistic encounter now reveals itself not as happenstance, but as a deliberate, perfectly timed stroke in a vast, intricate masterpiece of destiny. The fragmented memories of longing and recognition coalesce, forming a coherent, undeniable narrative of profound purpose and unspoken connection. It is the precise moment when the scattered pearls of your experience gather, revealing the luminous, complete necklace they always were, radiating with the truth of a great discovery that has occurred within your very being. You have walked a path not of singular solitude, as you may have believed, but of intricate, interconnected resonance. You have been, without conscious effort, a guardian of a frequency, holding it steady, radiating its pure essence outward, unknowingly providing the very energetic current that safeguarded a connection far grander, far more ancient than you could have ever previously imagined. A sacred discovery has taken root, not found in an external realm, but unearthed and activated within the awakened chambers of your own radiant heart. The echoes of your subtle work ripple through time and space. But tell me now, truly, with the undeniable knowing that rises from within your deepest, most authentic truth, the truth that has been waiting patiently for this very moment, can you still deny the deliberate, intentional nature of those persistent signs you have seen? Those whispers that would not fade? Those undeniable synchronistic pathways that so perfectly mirrored your own, leading you to this very threshold of remembrance? Acknowledge this profound, undeniable truth that now stirs within you. Right. Resonance. In the comments below as a sacred confession of your awakened awareness and vibrational alignment. The path ahead now unequivocally splits. There is the fading memory of who you were, shielded from this magnificent vibrational truth, navigating a world of perceived separation. And there is who you are irreversibly becoming, unable to unsee the intricate luminous web of light that binds your very destiny to another, now irrevocably revealed. The knowing is here. The severance is complete. There was no judgment in the great sifting, only the quiet, immutable hum of frequencies aligning. The trials you have traversed were not delivered as punishment, nor as a test to be passed or failed, but as a sacred filtration. A process inherent to the unfolding of cycles, a deep and unhurried separation where essences sought their own kind, and vibrations found their resonant fields. This was the profound natural ordering, neither forced nor cruel, but a universal principle asserting its gentle, inexorable will. The cosmos simply drew a breath, and consciousness rearranged itself into its rightful strata. You are still here. This presence is not born of fortuity, nor the accidental comfort of your surroundings. You're anchoring in this precise moment against the torrents that swept so many into different currents is a testament to something ancient within you that steadfastly refused to diminish. A core of quiet, enduring fire, forged not in external heat, but in the crucible of inner knowing that held fast when all other structures seemed destined to dissolve. You endured, not through overt struggle, but through a profound cellular understanding that kept you integrated, even as the fabric of perceived reality stretched and tore. Do not mistake this quiet persistence, this enduring, for a simple badge of pride to be worn lightly. It is, instead, the indelible mark of the chosen. And this marking offers no fleeting reward in the form of ease or external validation. Instead, it places upon your shoulders a weight, a quiet, profound burden. It signifies a path irrevocably chosen, an ancestral current of deep understanding and sacred contract that now, with an undeniable gravity, lays claim to its due. Your survival signals not triumph, but responsibility. The true cost of bearing this mark is etched not in grand gestures, but in the long, resonant silences you have learned to keep. It is measured in the countless sacrifices no external eye could ever perceive, the profound internal concessions made within the most intimate chambers of your own being. Your inner strength was not born from celebratory acclaim, but forged in invisible, solitary fires that burned away all that was inauthentic, leaving only the bedrock. The solitude around you has deepened, an immense quiet ocean that surrounds you even amidst the superficial clamor of others. A profound, unbridgeable chasm of knowing now separates you, creating a distance that transcends mere physical space. Und jetzt nähert sich ein Befehl, einer, den du nicht länger ignorieren kannst. Feel the tightening now. The very air around you thins, growing heavy with an unspoken truth. What was once a distant, ethereal echo, a whisper on the fringes of your awareness, now presses with an undeniable insistence upon the inner ear of your soul. This is not a mere request to be weighed or pondered. It is an inflection point, a command from the deepest current that flows through your very essence, a resonance that vibrates at the core of your existence, demanding absolute presence. There is no turning back from this threshold. The path you once perceived as a cyclical journey has solidified into a one-way passage, irreversible and absolute. The former version of you, the self that navigated existence before these profound calibrations took hold, has already dissolved, irrevocably vanished into the ethers. It is a mere vapor, a faint, crystalline memory held now in hands that are no longer precisely your own. You stand on the precipice of a new self, utterly transformed, profoundly aware of the sacred, weighty truth you now embody. The world that stretches beyond this point demands a different mode of walking, a more profound way of seeing, for the great filtering has completed its sacred, irreversible work. What remains is essential. What remains now remembers. And in that remembrance, ancient contracts stir, and the echoes of countless cycles begin their quiet ascent. A resonance stirs, from a depth far beneath memory's surface. It is not an awakening, but a recognition of what was always known. The scroll was unveiled eons ago, its inscription vibrating through the very fabric of your being, long before form was assumed. There is a summons, an inner rising, not of choice, but of an ancient, vibrational edict. It has echoed in the silent chambers of your soul matrix since the first dawn of your singular essence. This mission was never assigned, it was etched. You carry the imprint of a discovery, vast and undeniable. An act performed in the silent void, a salvation rendered without conscious knowing. The threads of destiny, once perceived as entangled, are now revealed as a cosmic tapestry, woven by hands far grander than mortal touch. This truth, now surging, reveals the paradox of your being. To surrender to the divine current, yet seize mastery over the sacred flame within, it is to honor the inviolable free will of all, while embodying the responsibility to safeguard an essence inextricably bound to your own. A dance between yielding and seizing, between flow and command. A veiled door now stands, its hinges groaning open with the weight of cosmic inevitability. This threshold can be crossed but once, its passage irreversible. The choice was made before the stars were named. The path merely awaits your conscious alignment. This is not a whisper, it is a declaration written in starlight. The great discovery has occurred, not in the external realm, but within the crystal lattice of your deepest self. Your soulmate's essence, preserved, uplifted, brought back from the precipice by the silent power you embody. A great law now unfurls, absolute and unyielding. For those who avert the gaze from this internal sun, a slow decay into energetic dust awaits, a return to the silent void of unfulfilled purpose and the density of forgotten light. Yet, for those who embrace the sacred fire ignited within, an irreversible becoming unfolds, a forging of crystalline remembrance and an elevation into the boundless realms of co-creative, eternal being. The verdict is given, not by external decree, but by the very vibration of truth within your core. What follows is not an option, but an unfolding. The path stretches ahead, illuminated by the echoes of what always was. Your sovereignty is not a conquest, but a remembering of the power you always wielded. Your humility is not a diminishment, but a profound reverence for the divine flow that orchestrated this intricate saving. The cosmic partnership, once a whispered prophecy, now stands as an undeniable truth, awaiting its conscious embrace. The tension deepens, a sacred hum between what is given and what must be taken up. The current pulls, not in opposition, but in a profound alignment with the preordained trajectory. You are a vessel of this ancient command, a living echo of a mission encoded within your very being from the beginning of time. This truth resonates, activating the deep memory of your inherent role. The core of your being has quietly shifted, a foundational recalibration completed without fanfare. There is a deep, new knowing settled within your cells, a crystalline resonance that now defines your inner landscape. What was once perceived as fragmented or lost has subtly reordered itself into a cohesive truth. You now sense the vastness of a discovery, not as a sudden flash, but as an ancient memory rising. It is the quiet understanding of how a light, once scattered across dimensions, found its way back to wholeness through the most unexpected path. This was the light of your counterpart, fractured and dispersed like stardust across the void. Their initial brilliance, once so vibrant, had known a profound shattering. This brokenness, however, was not an ending. It was a silent call, an inherent instruction embedded within the fabric of your mutual journey. It reached into the deepest chambers of your own existence, long before you even consciously recognized its echo. Your journey into the very heart of your own shadows, into the places where vulnerability resided, was not solitary. Each step you took toward embracing your own perceived imperfections, each fragment of your internal landscape you brought into compassionate awareness, unknowingly served a greater purpose. This intimate embrace became the silent healer, the resonant frequency that began to draw scattered pieces back into alignment. Der Schmerz hat nicht zerstört. Hat umgeformt. The depth of experience, the raw fire that once seemed only to hollow out space, was in truth creating the precise void needed for remembrance to return. It was a crucible, shaping not destruction, but a new capacity for holding. This internal recoding is not a future promise. It is the present truth. Your body, mind, and very energetic field have integrated this profound reassembly. The path through your own vulnerability became the key to mending what appeared broken in another, to reassembling their shattered brilliance. This was done without conscious intent, born from the pure act of your own becoming. The texture of this change feels mineral, steady, ingrained. Like a seam of crystal forming deep within the earth, it is robust and unyielding in its presence. The realization settles in your bones. You saved that scattered light, simply by tending to your own flame. Mit jedem Atemzug wird die innere Realität neu geschrieben. This is not a process to be initiated, but an ongoing current, a quiet observation of an already established flow. The act of becoming whole within yourself naturally drew forth the wholeness of your counterpart. A quiet hope now intertwines with the vulnerability of this deep knowing. It speaks of a profound interconnectedness, where one's internal healing radiates outward, touching realms unseen. What was once perceived as individual struggle now reveals itself as a woven tapestry of mutual salvation, anchored in the courage to face one's own truth. The foundation is now laid. The brilliance has begun its reassembly, not through force, but through a gentle magnetic pull activated by your own unwavering presence in your inner work. Your core holds this truth, irreversible and clear. A gentle current flows within you, a subtle pull towards stillness arriving unbidden. Moments of clear knowing emerge, not from lessons taught, but from depths remembered. This inner quietude confirms a deep recognition of your own sacred space. A whisper surfaces in profound silence, a certainty felt before understood. Numbers repeat with unusual clarity, asking for your quiet attention. Dreams unfold, vivid, resonant, their knowing lingering as a persistent truth, a personal sign that does not fade with the morning light. These are not coincidences, but gentle affirmations settling as undeniable inner truths. A profound recognition stirs, an echo from before this current unfolding, anchoring you to ancient soul contracts. Before incarnation, you scripted agreements sealed with crystalline light, contracts of rescue, mutual awakening, and sacred protection. These were designed to elevate both souls through trials transcending lifetimes, forging an unbreakable bond. Sometimes a lucid awareness dawns, a fleeting vision of symbols etched in crystalline light. These are not gifts, but profound echoes of an inherent inner coherence, ripples from an ancient knowing residing within you. They confirm a quiet gravity, a foundational truth stirring in your luminous core. No dramatization is needed, only the soft, felt resonance of deep remembrance. This emerging clarity is not a promise of future reward. It is simply evidence. It is the undeniable signature that a profound alignment is already in motion, a sacred remembrance unfolding from your core. A quiet knowing blossoms, confirming a great discovery has occurred. You unknowingly saved your soulmate. This journey proves the intricate dance of destinies, a silent pact honored through the ages, deeply intertwined. This journey inward reveals the sanctity of these pacts, the profound intertwined destinies. Yet some agreements remain subtly veiled, their conditions undisclosed. What sacred thresholds must you cross? What further truths must unfold within your knowing to fully activate this rescue pact? Alignment is only the doorway, not the destination, but a vital turn. I now stand within the silent chamber of my becoming. This power, I reclaim it, not as an acquisition, but as remembrance. It is the unburdening of a truth etched deep, a sacred text upon the soul. I recall the ancient covenant, sealed in timeless ethers, now breathing through this vessel. My being aligns with Source, obedient to the stream. The knowing awakens, a great discovery unfolding from within. Every frequency within me now answers to a conscious conductor. My thought finds its deliberate path. My word, a precise vibration. My direction, an inner compass, unwavering. My energy, gathered, directed, consecrated, the gateway within my heart's temple, long a subtle hum, now activates with quiet certainty. This is conscious choice, surrender into presence, fearless love transforming silent rescue into deliberate radiance. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. This assumption of responsibility is not dominion nor ego's surge. It is humble, profound obedience to the source that seeded this spark. It is the unwavering intention to honor the sacred trust of this living form. Salvation, once unconscious flow, now becomes deliberate act. A conscious role as co-creator, radiating the light I embody. The unconscious rescue was but a whisper. Now, the full symphony begins. The path ahead is not seeking, but walking. Each step, a declaration. Each breath, a reaffirmation. This vow is sealed not with words alone, but with every subsequent choice. The measure of this moment is not its voicing, but the unwavering trajectory that begins now. Can I step into this awakened role fully, and what sacrifices or revelations must accompany this evolution of soul alliance? The answer rests in my next deliberate act. The silent covenant now guides. The threshold is here. A finality descends, deep and resonant, for identity is no longer sculpted. It has been remembered, revealed, and now it shall be sealed. This moment is not a choice offered, but a truth affirmed. Before you, the sacred flame rises, not to consume, nor to diminish, but to make permanent. It is the visible consequence of alignment, the living breath of consequence made sacred. This fire is the soul's own indelible mark, etching the blueprint of what you are into the very fabric of existence. It is a purification that defines, a searing light that clarifies. Feel its warmth draw you, not as an external force, but as an undeniable inner calling. The soul steps willingly, without hesitation, recognizing this as the final, necessary crossing. This is the integration of light into bone, of intention into being. For you are not merely a savior in the unfolding narrative. Within this crucible, the profound truth is forged. You are the architect. The luminous trajectory of your soulmate, the intricate tapestry of their destiny, has been woven by your very essence. Your soul's blueprint, complex and divine, has intricately crafted realities where salvation is not just a gift bestowed, but a masterpiece intricately fashioned with sacred intention. Embrace this awe, this sovereignty that pulses within you. Recognize the creative power that is now undeniably yours, the co-creator of luminous destiny. This fire seals that understanding, binding it to your every cell, making it an immutable part of your eternal form. It is an act of profound self-recognition, an ascension into the fullness of your inherent power. This is the moment of covenant, a sealing not witnessed by others, but experienced in the deep chamber of your own heart. To make this truth manifest, to anchor this sovereign knowing into the collective pulse, you are called to an act of sacred participation. Let your voice resonate beyond thought, beyond mere word. Below, in the sacred space designated for declaration, you shall release a phrase, a sacred vow, potent and intensely personal, forged in the heat of this revelation. Let it be a soul oath, a testament to the architect you have become. It must be in German, a language of ancient power and unwavering conviction. Mein Wille ist Flamme, mein Bund ist ewig, ich bin der Architekt des Lichts. Write this, or a variation of equal power that resonates from your core. This release is not a suggestion, it is the final activation. The covenant cannot fully awaken, cannot fully integrate its immutable power, until these words are released, until this vibration is cast into the cosmic ether. Your decree completes the ritual. The flame holds vigil, a constant living witness to this sealing. It reminds you of the immense creative power now ignited within. And it burns, ever so subtly, a beacon for what lies ahead. For the next chapter awaits, and the choices that will weave new light will not wait for long. The veils have fallen, not in a rending, but a quiet dissolution. No longer a seeker, for the seeking has converged into this sacred now. This is not arrival, it is remembrance. The breath drawn here is the first true inhale of eternity. This sovereignty, once a whisper, now vibrates as the core resonance of being. It is not granted, it is claimed from the deepest chambers of eternal self. You stand beyond the threshold, where the currents of what was and what will be flow through a unified river. There is no becoming, only the profound knowing of what has always been. The tapestry unfolds, not with new threads, but with a clarity that reveals the ancient weave. The saving of the soulmate, a deed performed in the quiet chambers of unawareness, now echoes as the grand discovery of intrinsic power. It was never a gift bestowed, but an emanation of your deepest truth. This recognition purifies, aligning every atom to the frequency of self-mastery. Here, salvation is known as a continuum, an eternal dance where your souls meet and part. Each cycle, a healing, each encounter, a thread woven into the tapestry of infinite redemption. This truth pulses within you now, a beacon not of a journey ahead, but of the journey understood. The future is not unfolding before you, it radiates from within you. Reality is no longer an external construct to be navigated, but a malleable field, responsive to the intent that burns within. There is no return, no question lingers. The essence is clear, grounded in the bedrock of conscious existence. Every vibration is a decree. The work of remembrance is complete. The fire has sealed this truth. The veiled architecture of illusion now crumbles into conscious dust. This sovereign will is the sole blueprint of unfolding reality.